Islanders, this is huge cruise news, and I honestly feel like I've been punched in the gut as the CDC came out just a few minutes ago and is advising that no one step foot on a cruise ship right now. That is no one. Even if you're vaccinated, if you're unvaccinated, the CDC says don't do it. Do not cruise right now is the advice from the CDC. Royal Caribbean is already pushing back. Let's talk about this huge breaking cruise news right here on Island Time. A big happy Thursday to all you Islanders. It is the 30th of December, only a couple days left in 2021. And the first thing I want to say today is that there are several of you about to travel or about to embark on your cruise, your New Year's cruise, and have a blast. I don't care what anyone says, what any agency says. I want you to have a blast. Embrace the adventure that it's going to be and enjoy every single bit of it. Keep us posted on all your adventures on our Facebook page. That link is in the description of this video. We hope you have a blast. Let's get to this cruise news because here we go, a second day in a row here that we've been blindsided, okay? Senator Blumenthal yesterday has called for the end of cruising. He wants it to end just as it did in March of 2020. He's still the only senator so far to do that, but today, a gut punch from the CDC. This is literally 15 minutes ago. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is advising all people to avoid traveling on cruise ships regardless of vaccination status due to the high risk of COVID-19 infection aboard cruise ships. That's right, the CDC, for the first time in a long time, has said all people do not cruise. Now, if we rewind our minds back many months ago, they did this exact thing before they shut down the cruise industry of March 2020. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but when I saw this news today, bam, and I was hit in the gut, that's the emotion I had. My mind went back to March of 2020. We were supposed to cruise March the 21st of 2020, and it was canceled the week before. And that is where my mind is at. Not only did they give this advice to people, the agency also updated its travel health notice for cruise ships from a level 3 to a level 4, which is the highest risk. The highest that they have on their scales, a level 4. Now cruises are a level 4. Again, pointing that the CDC right now is not wanting you to cruise. We hope that no further action is taken. Now, this is the same CDC that said that if you contract COVID and you don't have symptoms, it's asymptomatic COVID, that you just need to quarantine for 5 days and wear a mask for 5 days because this new variant, the Omicron variant, is not as harmful to most people who contract it. That's the same CDC. This is the same CDC who has already come out and said that the Omicron variant so far sees much more mild symptoms, much like a cold. The same CDC who has said those things in the last 2 or 3 days is now saying don't cruise. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know what's going on. Maybe it makes sense to you. If it does, please comment in the section below because I want to know. Matter of fact, just put your thoughts there on this. The CDC, the same CDC who has extended the conditional sail order, they did that in November. It goes through January the 15th. And it's the same CDC who said after January 15th, cruise lines are going to be on their own because they have proven that they can implement protocols that combat the spread of COVID-19. That's the same CDC. Flip-flop. I don't know where to go with it. I really don't. Royal Caribbean is already, they're already blasting back. They are. They've already released some comments. I'll read those to you here in just a second. But let's get into it. Share your thoughts below. And let me invite you right now. If you're not an Islander and you have not subscribed to our page, please consider doing so. It helps so much, and it helps a lot too. If you'll like this video, it will put this video in front of other people who love cruising and who are looking for the latest cruise news. Please do that for us as we keep you updated right here on Island Time. Earlier this morning, Royal Caribbean actually gave a review of how Omicron is affecting cruising, affecting their business. Some of this also is directed toward the CDC. They were pretty upfront and confident in what they're doing, and of course wanting to continue to cruise. They said yes, Omicron has affected their business. There have been several port stops where local governments have said, hey, we don't want you to stop here. They admitted we've seen a higher increase in cases on board, but a much less severity. They mentioned that their medical center on board, which is prepared for all situations, is actually seeing less action, although the case numbers are higher. All this corresponds and matches exactly what the CDC is saying with Omicron, that it is a less severe but more transmissible variant of COVID-19. But the CDC has again said no cruising. Royal Caribbean's trying to say really everything on board is under control and better than it has been July, August, September, October, so forth. Here's what the company said in a press release this morning. Fortunately, Omicron also appears to cause significantly less severe symptoms than earlier variants, especially for people who are vaccinated. Cruising remains one of the few places one can vacation knowing that almost everyone you meet is fully vaccinated. And that's true. There's not hardly anywhere else we go, nowhere else we go, I can just go ahead and throw that out there, where 95 or 100% of people are vaccinated and they've been tested. Royal Caribbean trying to show that. They even shared some numbers with us today. The numbers indicate an increase in people testing positive for COVID than some of those earlier variants. Since cruising restarted in the United States in late June of 2021, Royal Caribbean has sailed over 1.1 million guests, and there have been 1,745 positive cases on board. That's a positivity rate of 0.02%. Wouldn't these large cities and NFL stadiums and college stadiums love a positivity rate of 0.02? That would be great. That number is very, very low compared to what we're seeing in the United States right now. Furthermore, the vast majority of these cases, 1745 cases, have had no symptoms or only mild symptoms, with only 41 of those people needing hospitalization. None of the Omicron cases have been severe or needed to be taken to a hospital. Let me repeat that for you. None of the positive cases for Royal Caribbean of the Omicron variant have had to lead to hospitalization. That is from Royal Caribbean today. Here's what else they said. Richard Fain here, chairman and CEO. Omicron is having a big short-term impact on everyone, but many observers see this as a major step toward COVID-19 becoming endemic rather than epidemic, said Richard Fain. We don't like to see even one case, but our experience is a fraction of the comparable statistics of virtually any other comparable location or industry. Few businesses are subject to such intense scrutiny, regulation, and disclosure requirements by so many authorities, and we welcome that scrutiny because of our commitment to safety. We intend to maintain our goal of delivering the safest vacation on land or sea, and will constantly adjust our procedures to accomplish this, even in the face of Omicron's amazing transmissibility. And Royal Caribbean's Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Calvin Johnson, said this: the company is navigating through the ever-evolving information on the Omicron variant. Our case count has spiked, but the level of severity is significantly milder. We will remain nimble and constant contact with health authorities. For example, even before Omicron, we have been giving all of our crew members booster shots as they became eligible. So that answers some questions there on our crew members being vaccinated and boosted. That answer is yes. I want to point out, though, Richard Fain, as he commits to remaining safe, whatever that means, that the changing in protocols there could be a changing in protocols in order to remain safe. We talked about earlier this week, will booster shots be required? It very well could be required, and it's not because cruise lines necessarily want to require them. It's not because the CDC wants to require them, but instead it could be because local islands, local ports want people who visit to have the booster shot. Here's an example. MSC yesterday was denied entry to its own private island. Its own island in the Bahamas. MSC Cruises were forced to cancel a scheduled call to its own private island in the Bahamas, Ocean Key, with the MSC Seashore, which we actually saw last week when we were aboard the Carnival Vista. The Seashore had been denied entry to MSC's private island of Ocean Key in the Bahamas for her call on the 29th, which was yesterday. And that is because several crew members and a handful, we don't know the exact number, but a handful of guests were identified as positive with COVID-19. In a letter from the captain, guests were informed that the government there in the Bahamas has forced the vessel to cancel its own call to its own island there in Ocean Key. The call from the government could bring further complications to cruise lines, which are dealing with several ports that have said, no, we don't want you to stay here. We don't want you to visit. And so it's going to be interesting. If you have a cruise booked, like I told you, enjoy the cruise. But no, it may not go according to how you planned it. And I am a planner. I know how much that can bother you. We're going to see what happens here. There is so much unfolding. The CDC announcement was just a few minutes ago. I'm sure there's going to be all types of fallout, and I can almost guarantee that Senator Blumenthal will not be the only one to call for cruises to end. After what the CDC has announced, they will attach that to Senator Blumenthal's comments, and you will have more come about. We will keep you updated. You know that, as we always do. Share your thoughts below as well on our Facebook page. Let us know what you think. That is why we are a community. We can learn from each other, interact with each other, and we will keep you updated with the latest news right here on Island Time.